I'm seeing all these reports of Scooter dying, and I just watched a press conference. Something don't add up. Y'all get a 911 call of shots fired and a woman being dragged back in the house. When y'all reach the house, a male initially opens the door and then closes without fully communicating. The police secure the perimeter and 2 men flee out the back of the house. One ends up back in the house while Scooter jumps two fences and has an injury to his leg. Atlanta police are saying they didn't fire any shots. There were no shots fired, but he had an injury to his leg that caused the bleeding. How long was he laying there bleeding if the police was there? Like, I just don't understand how no shots fired, him jumping the fence. I can see how you could snag your leg, but immediately dying? Like, they said they try to render aid. Stay tuned for a developing because something ain't right.
Yo, face! Yo, your face, please! With sugar on top!
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines, but we'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now, without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, so we did a previous video covering young Scooter's passing. As y'all know, it's been stated that the Atlanta rapper passed away after running from police when they were called to a residence that he was at over shots being fired. According to a conference held by APD, they state that they got a call from someone stating that they witnessed a man dragging a girl into a house and they reported hearing gunshots. When police arrived to the scene, they knocked on the door to the house to investigate what was going on, and when they did, a man opened the door and then slammed the door in their face as soon as they noticed it was the police. Now, they claim it was 2 men that ran out the back door in attempts to flee from the police, but one man decided to come back and the other proceeded to run. That other man was identified as Kenneth Bailey, aka Young Scooter, and they say he jumped 2 fences to get away. Now, according to police, he jumped the first fence, but it was the second one that he jumped over that may have injured him, because when police caught up to him, they found him on the floor bleeding and suffering from what seemed to be a leg wound. Reports would say that he was alive when ambulance got on the scene. However, when he was taken to Grady Hospital, he passed away due to his injury because they say that he hit a main artery. Now, as of right now, they're still investigating, but after rumors came out that he was shot and unalive by police, the officer made it very clear during their conference no shots were fired by police at Young Scooter, and they say he didn't suffer any bullet wounds neither. Once again, I don't know who's telling the truth, because there's people who are in Atlanta that says he was in fact shot in his back by police, but once again, we don't know, and there's no real confirmation from any of the family members on what actually happened. However, the closest we got to any information that seemed to be accurate is a close friend of Scooter's girlfriend speaking on the situation via Facebook. We're going to get into that, but we're also going to get into Scooter's oldest son, who was not only sad because Scooter was a great father, but he was also upset with Atlanta Police Department as well. We're going to get into that and everything else, but before we do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm, and if you're not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it. Scooter had a close friend and business partner who goes by the name Hollywood WC. He paid tribute to Scooter as well after his passing, as he would say, quote, "Damn Street, you an N-word real brother. We've been together every day this past week. He was just telling me, Holly, you got these folks. They seen what's going on, no rap deal. I love you, bro. You know how we rockin', #honestly." Well, he has a girlfriend who you guys may know, who goes by the name Danny Big Bang Washington, who used to date YouTuber Corey SSG. Well, after the news of his passing, she would address a few things concerning Young Scooter, in which I'm assuming she would know being that she's close to Hollywood, who was close to young Scooter. But she would take to her Facebook account to say, quote, "A female caller falsely claimed to be a hostage, prompted police to search the residence. The incident was unrelated to narcotics. Unaware of the police's reason for visiting, he fled, and authorities later acknowledged that no woman was present." I've seen so many posts stating that he ran because he did something wrong, and he actually didn't know what was going on at the time. And then after news about a leg injury coming out via posts on Instagram, she would say that that is the real story. Now keep all that in mind because we're going to come back to that. However, when everything first happened, Scooter's oldest son, KB, would take to his IG with statements of his own. He would say, quote, "FAPD, police or not, ain't have no understanding but you pull straight up. Ain't give a F about no handcuffs on me. I just wanted to make sure you good, that's all. I kept asking and they kept lying. Damn, my best friend gone. Happy birthday too. I know exactly what to do for sure though. You know I got my sisters and brothers, they overly good. Your son a hustler, just like you. Watch this." Now another post I found very interesting via Facebook is a user who claimed to be in the area when everything went down. In a Facebook post, one of the users asked a good question and they would say, quote, "They can't find the lady. Did she shoot Scooter or the police?" Now aside from the people saying that story doesn't make sense, one person in the comments would say, quote, "It's something to look into. I live up this way and it's supposed to start from some kind of domestic dispute. Then shots fired." The reason why I said this was a good point is because according to police, they claim it was someone that called in and told them they seen a lady being dragged into a house and then they also heard gunshots. Now could it be that whatever domestic dispute happened, the girl probably shot young Scooter and the injury they claimed came from the fence was really from a bullet? But we could eliminate that theory because for one, if he was shot in his leg, it's no way he'd be able to run and then jump 2 fences with a bullet wound in his leg. But then two, if he was in fact shot, why in the world would he run instead of getting help? Right? But let's move on to what Danny Washington, the girlfriend of young Scooter's friend, said. Now according to her, basically Scooter was a victim of what they call swatting. This is when someone gets your address and calls the police on you and lie and say that you did something, and usually they show up deep with guns drawn because they're under false indication that you are dangerous and they're taking caution. There's been plenty of scenarios where people lost their lives just like this, and this became popular amongst hackers within the video game community. But I have a few questions myself if this is in fact true. They say it was 2 men that initially ran and the second man ended up running back into the house, and Scooter's the one that kept going. Well, who's the second guy? Why hasn't he been identified or named in any of the articles that's been posted, and why hasn't his name been mentioned in the conference that they had along with Scooter's name? And if he did in fact hurt himself and he basically bled out like they trying to say, how long was he left without medical care where he was able to bleed out like that? Not only that, but if they're saying the woman called the cops on the false allegations, why haven't the woman been located and arrested yet? But then if you pay attention, the story the girlfriend of the friend gave us is conflicting with the one made by police during the conference. She said that the female called claiming to be the hostage, but the police said whoever called said they seen the girl being pushed into the house and heard a gunshot go off. So which one is it? I don't know y'all, but like I said before, I can 100% say that this or that happened. All I could say is something isn't adding up. Then you pay attention to what the officer said during the conference, because according to him, one of the guys opened the door, then closed it quick without any communication with police. But here's why something sounds off about that. For one, when police come and they're told it's a hostage situation, we all know they're either banging on the door, letting you know it's the police, or they're trying to knock the door down and come in by force. So with that being said, why would anybody open the door just to close it and then run? Right? If he opened the door and closed it without communicating, what was the sense in opening the door in the first place? Now you mean to tell me they don't have peepholes in Atlanta or something? Right? Matter of fact, with someone of Scooter's status, I'm sure they either have surveillance cameras on the house or at least a Ring camera. So why would they need to open the door to see who it is and then run? Something don't make sense, y'all. We definitely gonna have to wait until that body cam footage drop for sure. I watched a video of a man who says he's an orthopedic surgeon, and he spoke on the situation himself. He basically said it's a very, very rare case, but it is possible that you could fracture your femur from a fall, and a femur fracture is sharp enough to cut a main artery. But he says in order for something like that to happen, he had to have fall very, very hard for something like that to happen with his femur. So I don't know, y'all. As more come out about this situation, I'll keep you guys updated. Can't wait to see the body cam footage when it releases. As for right now, rest in peace, young Scooter, one of the few real ones within that music industry. Condolences to his family, and y'all jump in the comments, let me know what y'all think about this whole situation, man. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm gonna keep on dropping. And I'm out.